CJ Flyer back with the Fire, another YouTube video. Today, 2K dropped some NBA 2K24 gameplay news, some enhancements, some new features that are going to be in the new game, so let's go ahead and rank them. Starting off with the topic that everyone's making 30-minute plus videos for, the Pro Play technology. So basically, instead of 2K having to bring in the professional athletes to do the motion capture in their studio, on their court, they can now use real NBA footage and just pull animations from the real life footage and bring them into the game directly. They don't have to bring the players into the studio where they play the game at half speed instead of full speed moves. So everything should theoretically be much more realistic than it has been in the past, because a lot of times you see them bring in these players to do the motion capture. They do their crossovers at half speed. They do their step back moves. They're shooting much slower than they would in real life. And then the animations in the game are much slower and unrealistic than they are in real life. And the whole idea is that 2K is supposed to be a simulation basketball game, so we're trying to get the most realistic moves possible. And this is how 2K is going to do it, by pulling footage from NBA games instead of bringing in players to motion capture. So theoretically, should be good. I'll put this on the massive W tier. The animations that are going to be a part of Pro Play include jump shots, dunks, layups, dribble moves, pass animations, and of course the signature moves such as size up moves on offense. Next feature, the shot timing. They're trying to separate the competitive game modes like Rec or the Park away from the other game modes such as MyNBA and Quick Play. And so now, unless you are playing on Hall of Fame difficulty, the Rec in the City/Park, if you don't get a green shot timing, your shot's not going to fall. You have to get the excellent shot timing window in order to make a jump shot. Whereas on the team-controlled modes, including my team, unless it's on Hall of Fame difficulty, you don't have to necessarily get a green release. You could get a slightly early, a slightly late, and you could potentially still get the shot to go down if it's a good shot. You can also change the timing visual cue. Instead of in the past historically where in 2K you have to release the shot button on the shot release, you can now change a setting where you release the button on the jump, on the set point, or on the shot release. I think we'll put this feature on the OK tier. I'm glad they're trying to separate the competitive modes from the non-competitive modes. Layup timing, it's on by default. It's supposed to be much more forgiving. There's a bigger window for getting a release in which your layup will fall. Additionally, advanced layup moves such as Euro steps and floaters will be much more effective with the layup timing on. So 2K is really trying to push its users to use layup timing by having that setting on right when you open the game up. We'll put this in the we shall see how this will be tier, aka the neutral tier, aka the I don't really have a strong opinion on this yet tier. Until we get to actually try this out to see what the timing window is for the layups, I can't really give a good opinion on this. Dunking on PS5 and Xbox Series X/S, you can now force controllable rim hangs by holding down the sprint trigger button when the dunker grabs the rim. You can move the right stick in different directions to get different types of dunks. Similar to the shot timing, on Hall of Fame difficulty, you're going to have to get green window or miss. I'm going to throw this one on the who cares tier. Pretty sure it was like 10 years ago on a previous 2K, they had the whole spiel, you know, before the game came out about using the Pro Stick to get different dunk types. So this isn't even a new feature, they're just bringing back an old feature. And again, with the timing, it's just kind of like, we'll have to see what's going on. I don't care that I control how long the player hangs on the rim. Personally, I'm probably not going to want him to hang on the rim very long anyways. I want to get back on defense. Paint play, you can now branch out of any offensive rebound to a putback attempt by simply pressing the shoot button after the catch. Call me naive, but I'm pretty sure this has always been a thing, so I'm not sure why this is news. Post fades and hop shots are also really effective shots for post players. Okay, that's not news either. Strength and weight can definitely be felt in the paint. Definitely. Key word, definitely. That doesn't tell me anything. There's no numbers, no percentages, no nothing. You know, how much more effective compared to last year are these post shots? You're not telling me anything. I'm going to put this in the who cares tier. Dribble breakdowns. Shooting has been customized and improved for all of the modes, difficulties, and player skill levels, but in order to get a high percentage of shots, you need to know how to create separation. That's why they've introduced dribble breakdowns. There's regular ones, and there's aggressive breakdowns. So it looks like they're just adding more variety to the dribbling animations, different signature size-up moves, depending on the stick and button combination that you use. I'm going to put this one in the OK tier. It's also kind of like a, you know, we'll have to see how this looks when it comes out, but I actually kind of like this, so I'm going to put it in the OK tier. Adrenaline boosts. Adrenaline boosts are back, but have been redesigned to make both offense and defense more engaging. On offense, boosts are no longer lost when pulling off dribble combos or moving short distances, giving elite ball handlers much more freedom to create off the bounce. but boost will disappear every time the on-ball defender can bump the ball handler on a drive. The cost of losing adrenaline is different this year too. Instead of slowing the ball handler's movement, losing adrenaline will now impact the shooting attributes. Does that mean layups too, or does that just mean jump shots? I think if lost adrenaline affects both jump shots and layups, this is a slight W. But if it's only affecting jump shots, then I don't see why this matters, because if you lose all your adrenaline and you still manage to get by a player on the last little adrenaline boost, I mean, then they're going to make the layup anyways. Whereas in real life, I feel like if you have a player that's tired, we've seen NBA players miss layups in real life. Like that's a thing that happens. I'm going to put this one in the we'll see what happens tier. Skill-based defense along with the changes to adrenaline counter moves are big in all caps. Big, B-I-G, in NBA 2K24. Perimeter and paint defense are both more effective and reward players for anticipating making good reads. Again, these statements don't mean anything until we see actual gameplay of it or until we get to play the game ourselves. So take this one with a grain of salt. Yeah, I'm not going to read this whole paragraph here, but it's just a lot of fluff. There's a claim in here that stealing is much more skillful and less about luck. Again, this is going to get thrown in the we'll see what happens tier. Takeovers return in NBA 2K24. In the past, your takeover abilities were set as a part of the build creating process. But now, instead of choosing a takeover before a game, you can choose on the fly during the game. So when you fill up the takeover meter, you have a menu that comes up that you can choose between finishing, shooting, playmaking, defense, rebounding, or physicals takeover. I'm going to have to go ahead and say this is a massive W, because a lot of times the certain takeover that you want to use is very situational. And sometimes you're mid-game and you wish you had one takeover instead of another. So I think this is great. Massive W for NBA 2K24. Coach with ease. With the return of 2K Smart Play, it's easy to make simplified play calls while running the offense. After any made or missed shot, new gen players will notice an overlay that appears and tells you the type of play that will be called. To opt into the play, simply tap L1 or the left bumper before crossing half court. That action will then automatically be called for the player with the most relevant play type. I'm going to put this in the we'll see / OK tier. Let's go OK tier. Let's go OK tier. Anything that makes play calling more convenient is a W for me. But again, we're going to have to see how it actually is when we're playing the game before I go ahead and throw that in the massive W tier. Freelance. Now again, there's just a lot of fluff in these paragraphs. And to be honest, it's going to be a we'll see situation. They're claiming there's a new freelance option called comp. It's for competitive play. It seems to default to a 5-out set, and from there you can control all of the AI players, the ones that you're not controlling, and have them move in certain directions and set up different mini plays and combinations within that 5-out set. They also have a motion freelance. I'm going to have to throw this one in the we'll see what happens tier because, again, there's no way of knowing how useful or good that these sets will actually be until we actually get to try them. Final feature, substitutions. NBA 2K24 features a brand new lineups and substitution engine. In the past, our AI would tend to sub all 5 players out of the game at the same time. This would create an environment that was ripe for scoring droughts from the AI offense. The new system was built around keeping scorers on the floor. The system has data that supports 1-scorer, 2-scorer, and 3-scorer lineups. This means the minutes are distributed to keep a scorer on the floor and ensure the starters are in the game at the appropriate times. Again, I'm going to have to throw this back into the we'll see what happens tier because until we actually get to see the substitutions made by the AI in real time, we're not going to know how useful this is, this whole 1-scorer, 2-scorer, 3-scorer. What qualifies a player as being a scorer? I have no idea. Does their shooting stats have to be a minimum of 80, 90? Do they have to have certain badges? I mean, what qualifies a player as being considered a scorer? Can you manually set a player as a scorer? Too many questions, not enough answers. We're going to have to wait to see when we actually play the game. Let me know in the comments what you think of these rankings. Like and subscribe for more. We'll be back with some NBA 2K24 and Madden coming out later this week. See y'all in the next one.